This is Miss Chappell, and I wanted to tell you about a book that I'm reading. It's tying in with the well visit that'll happen next week. And it's called In the Heart of the Sea, The Tragedy of the Whale Ship Essex, and it's by Nathaniel Philbrick. This book is about a whale ship that goes on a voyage, and it's a nonfiction text, so it's a true story. And it takes place in the 1800s. And this whale ship, the Essex, goes on a pretty typical voyage, and they plan to be at sea for 3 years. And whaling was an industry back in the day, and that still happens in pockets now, where crews go out and they kill ships for the whale's blubber. It takes them typically 3 years, and a year and a half into this journey, they get attacked by a whale. Now this had never happened before, and so at the time, it was a huge deal, a big deal. Word spread really fast, and the story of the Essex was what I would compare to the story of the Titanic, which is typically a very popular story, right? And so let me read a passage from the book. All right. First, they saw bones, human bones, littering the floorboards as if the whaleboat were the seagoing lair of a ferocious man-eating beast. Then they saw the two men. They were curled up in opposite ends of the boat, their skin covered with sores, their eyes bulging from the hollows of their skulls, their beards caked with salt and blood. They were sucking the marrow from the bones of their dead shipmates. Instead of greeting their rescuers with smiles of relief, the survivors, too delirious with thirst and hunger to speak, were disturbed, even frightened. They jealously clutched the splintered and gnawed over bones with a desperate, almost feral intensity, refusing to give them up, like two starving dogs found trapped in a pit. Later, once the survivors had been given some food and water and had finally surrendered the bones, one of them found the strength to tell his story. It was a tale made of a whaleman's worst nightmares, of being in a boat, far from land, with nothing left to eat or drink, and perhaps worst of all, of a whale with the vindictiveness of a man. If you want to find out how these sailors got into that situation, then you definitely need to read this book. Come find me. There's actually a sailor on there with the last name Chappell who did some maybe not so great things. And we'll talk about it. This author was able to get me hooked into something that I thought that I wouldn't be interested in. He tied in race and class. I think you'll really love this book.